Chair.
Okay, I will call the Tuesday, October 14th, Town of Arundel Selectmen meeting to order. First order of business is public hearing to discuss, to adopt the MA model ordinance, EA appendices B and C for the period of October 1st, 2014 to October 1st, 2015. Anybody from the public have any comments or would like us to read those appendices? Hearing none.
Hearing none.
Come on, Jack.
I don't want to cause trouble.
We'll close the public hearing. Okay, call to order. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, approval of agenda.
If I may add some items, Mr. Chair.
Oh my gosh, go ahead.
Under Section 8, Other Business, A, I would like to add an update of the quote I got from Southern Maine Planning and Development Council for the rewrite of our ordinances. Under B, I would like a discussion of the seasonal cottages ordinance change. And C, I would like to invite you all to units, but I want to do it officially on the agenda.
See unit till invite.
Yes. Thank you.
I would ask the board if they're okay with pushing out the approval of the minutes. We just got them tonight. I'm not sure if anybody's had a chance to read them, but you guys okay with doing those at the next meeting?
Number me. You want to get the agenda approved as amended?
No, change that. Take
Oh, you take that off. Oh,
Take it
It's
off.
tentative on there.
Oh, well, I think you only have the minutes of the 22nd on the agenda, so you're okay. I hadn't gotten them finished with the afternoon, so.
Right, these.
Those are.
Yeah, those are the 22nd.
Okay.
It's the only meeting we've had, so remember?
Yeah, been
The
gone
3
too
weeks
long.
in between.
So we'll table those.
All right.
Yeah, and if then, as a point of order, we can move item 6J to after item 8C. Just rather not go into an executive session, then have to come back out and discuss the
Oh.
other business.
All right, so I'll take that one and move it down here to the end.
Okay,
All right, and I make a motion, we approve the agenda as amended.
The executive session is working.
I have a motion. Do I hear a second? All those in favor? Motion carries. Okay, public forum. This is where anybody from the public can comment on non-agenda items. You got anything for us, Jack?
I had a nice month off.
Is that your public comment, Jack?
Nice month off.
Good. All right, so we'll go to committee and board reports.
Planning board will meet Thursday, the 23rd at 7 p.m. in the ML Day School Library. The Comp Plan Review Committee will meet on Tuesday, October 28th at 7 p.m. in the ML Day School Library. The EDC, oh, these are out of order, will meet Tuesday, October 21st at 6 p.m. at Weir's Motors. And I will also add that the Budget Board will meet on Wednesday, October 22nd at 7 p.m. here at the ML Day School Library.
The RSU Finance Committee meets this Friday morning at 7:30 at KES.
And I have a planning board report. I also attended the last RSU meeting, but in my haste to get here, I left those at home so I can update. There was a discussion, the thing that I can talk a little bit about is there was a big discussion again on the $8 million gap. And they gave them until, you were there, so they gave them until, was it 3 weeks or 4 weeks they gave them?
October or November 3rd, I think.
Right. To try to work those, what those discrepancies are and try to cover. I mean, they kind of agreed on them, but they're still working to try to get to the original dollar amount. So there were not some very happy board members, that's for sure. They were a little upset at Harriman Associates. So I'll give an update on the planning board. The planning board met last week, 10/19, and really the discussion was to go over the Gateway District. There were 12 folks in the audience, only 3 residences from that district. 2 on the Biddeford side of the bridge and 1 on the Arundel side of the bridge. So they just went through a bunch of things. They talked about, allowing in-law apartments. Comments, a lot of travelers think that on the Biddeford side of the bridge is actually Biddeford and not Arundel. They mentioned that these folks actually want design standards. There were comments on the Champaign property and how that has really beautified the area and it's kind of really set the stage to, improve all that. We can talk about this a little bit later. The town sign, the town sign is on the wrong side of the bridge. No flea markets. One wanted an antique style building, another one wanted to keep it farm-like. Contractors' yards, they felt it was acceptable if everything is kept down out back and away. Jim Lowry went through the different business uses, and the one that he thought that would kind of stand out, Jim, was the chair, and he was kind of looking for a yay or nay on a couple of things. So he went through all of those. Folks felt that 50-mile-an-hour speed limit is just way too fast right there. That was pretty much it. Planner's report, another private way exception coming. It's a possible new business in town. He didn't want to give too much information on that yet. Mark Welch's gravel pit over with Fred Stone, that's up for review. AIM is finishing up their DEP application and they're getting ready to come to the planning board. There was an update on the ordinance revision and that the staff will need to do, and we'll update this some more. Let's see. They adjourned at 9:03. Phil was there. Phil might add some things if he's got something.
Will come.
That's all I got. 9:03.
Right.
Yeah,
It's an early evening.
it was, but it was just to discuss that, and again, it was only 3 folks from the, oh, it's not that it's that big of a district anyways, but, Okay, so on to new business. Selectmen approve and sign state mandated amendments to Appendix B and C of the 2014-2015 General Assistance Ordinance.
I move approval of the state mandated amendments to B and C for the 2014-15 General Assistance Ordinance.
Second.
Approval in a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Selectmen approve and sign an off-site catering permit for Creed Natine LLC for an event to be held October 16th at Weir's Motors on 1513 Portland Road.
This was fun because the Bureau of Alcohol has a website, has an email address listed on their website, and if you're not part of their inner circle, you're not allowed to use that website, so I had to fax and email because it's such a short time period between this event's being held on Thursday, we're not approving it till tonight. They needed to have the payment and the originals in Augusta. So it was pretty interesting getting in touch with the Bureau of Alcohol throughout this process. Faxing emails that are coming back undelivered so that they can read them and call me back.
What is this
Motion
again?
for that?
It is for the
What is that?
Education Foundation of the Kennebunks
Anne Arundel.
for, I'm sorry, Anne Arundel, for RSU 21 to raise funds for the, it's kind of, I hope I'm not offending anyone by saying it's kind of like the PTC or the PTA. It's a fundraising group for additional activities for the schools.
Move we approve the event that the notice ends on the 16th.
I'll second that.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Do you have the-
All those in favor? Motion carries.
I was gonna say, I never got one other than. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Next week.
Okay, item C, Selectmen appoint Doris Tascherl as ward for the November 4th, 2014 state general and referendum election for the town of Arundel pursuant to MRSA Title 21, Section A, I don't know if that's section, but paragraph 5012, 21A. Trying to know what that is, that's how it's said.
So moved.
That's-
Second.
Subsection 501. Okay, any further discussion on that? All those in favor?
How
Carries.
many years has she been on
Oh, gosh, she was there when I started. It's been 20.
I think she's in one of those pictures in that Salt magazine from that old town meeting.
She said she had started like at when the meetings were at the upstairs town office, middle room up there.
Okay, item D.
Not as warden though, as a ballot.
Yep.
Town clerk request for the Board of Selectmen to order a change to the statutory hours required for the registrar to be open before an election pursuant to MSRA Title 21A, subsection 122. Paragraph 8, or is that
Just eight.
Just eight.
Sections.
Sub-8.
Sunday.
sub 8? Section 122, sub 8.
Yeah.
I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
I think we've done this for every election, so I make a motion that we approve the registrar's request.
I'll second that.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Carries. Item D, Selectmen do board request for discussion with board selectmen in regards to moving the Welcome to Arundel sign north, closer to the actual town line. What do you guys think?
If I could just start off,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
with the fact that this week Public Works is repainting the Welcome to Arundel signs, the framework going around the signs, and the Down East Magazine accolades will be added to the signs this week. So they're repainting the blue, redoing the gold, repainting the white sign frames, and those, Down East Magazine did approve the design that we submitted to them, and so now on the cross member it'll say, it says Welcome to Arundel, Down East Magazine's best place to live, March 2014. So those will all be beautified next week. As far as the conversation that occurred at the planning board meeting the time I was there, it doesn't require quite the act of Congress to move that sign as was once thought, or as was thought at the planning board. So if the board is of that opinion, it is where Arundel begins. So, I mean, I have heard the discussions at the planning board meetings, and people would like that to be recognized.
Well, the sign, there used to be a sign, it was like a square post, so tall. It said Arundel this way. It was right there by Arundel Auto.
Yeah. And I believe there still is a town line sign there.
Maybe there's,
But they're speaking of the blue Welcome to
Yeah.
Arundel sign.
I mean, I like it where it is, but
I think the difficulty is all the parking areas by Arundel Auto,
Auto.
and you've got the, what do they call it, that place that, does the cars and Z-Bart or whatever it is and stuff, because there's not a whole lot of roadside there, unless you put it on the other side, which you're not hitting.
no, because across the street, you've got the other garage. So it's
Most
never
towns-
going to be right on the town line.
Most towns you go through, you go by town line, you go a little ways down the road and it says, welcome to whatever.
Absolutely.
And that's the way ours is right now.
On 111, if you're coming from Biddeford, you hit the town line at Mike Aquaviva, and you don't hit the Welcome to Arundel signs until you get to almost Holly's.
Yeah.
Same thing on the west end of 111. It's town. It's close, but it's not right on top of it.
But even the southern has the Route 1, I mean, the sign, you don't get the sign until you almost at, right in VIP of that area, right?
Yeah, you pass the old post road by the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless you bring it over the bridge and put it after Arundel Auto, is there a little bit of a green space before you hit the antique place, or right
Yeah,
around
kind of
there?
crappy looking green space.
There are two lots there, right? There's,
Yeah.
there's Mike Mills, and then there's the antique place.
But there's a little overgrown lot there that's, you know, kind of a crappy place to put our welcome to Arundel sign.
You might be inviting vandalism and destruction.
That's
on
right.
that. You know, I hate to say it, I grew up in Bedford, so I can say it, but, you know, it's a sign that's just hanging out there, you know, at least where it is now, you're over the overpass, you now know you're in Arundel. You know, do we need to identify the whole town to that extent?
Well, you know, the intent of them making this gateway district really is to encourage some growth there.
Yeah.
Not sure if that'll ever happen, but they're trying to encourage growth, they're trying to, so, I mean, and their point is valid. I like the sign on the other side, but,
Well, if you're gonna move, now's the time.
yeah.
Well, new.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to move it towards Biddeford, then it needs to be put as close to the line as is feasible. And that's either right next to Arundel Auto's parking lot, or right next to that overgrown lot. And that both, to me, doesn't say welcome to Arundel.
And there's no point in putting it right in front of the bridge,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, because all you're gonna see is the bridge and,
the sign.
Where's the exact line?
The line is right across from the Exxon station on Route 1.
Auto is.
Yeah, that's, Arundel, part of Arundel Auto is in Arundel.
yeah.
This is, when you look at this, this is Arundel Auto's property, so there's a property line right here. And this is the antique place, this square is the antique place, and that place is, that's Mike Mills' place.
It's a residence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, I think that where it is, it looks nice where it is. I think it's noticeable where it is, it gives a good impression.
Who was inquiring about moving it The residents that you may mention, or just?
Yeah, somebody mentioned, I don't remember who it was, somebody mentioned it. Do you remember who it was? It's not the first time that we've heard it, we've heard it a couple times before, but I can't remember who.
Otherwise, it would have to be a part of Arundel Auto sign. The sign there that says Arundel Auto.
And it's,
If I may, one possible solution would be to, like on 111 going west, there's a brand new sign on the town line, a green sign.
yes,
Is that a state sign? Or?
it is.
Okay. That sign is very visible, and if you simply left coming south on Route 1, your blue Arundel sign where it is, simply put up one of those green signs at the town line and make it visible in that.
Is that provided by us, or is that provided by
That's
this?
provided by DOT. Any signs that go on the
Yeah.
state route, they pay
But-
for.
Can we initiate that? Isn't there a...
There's only one of those narrow ones.
Oh, the ones that go up and down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they're not visible at all, whereas this new green sign is very noticeable. And if you put one actually on the town line or close to it,
Yeah, I can contact DOT.
might
By your house,
solve the
Tom,
problem.
want to take 10 feet apart at your house?
It is right there, right
Well,
there.
that's right.
Yeah.
Well, the line mechanic,
Yeah, yeah.
And isn't there actually a green one that says Arundel?
No,
Or one of the towns, I think, has a, it might be
it
Lyman.
might be Lyman, yeah.
Because, yeah, the post is there, and then there's the other one. maybe at such time, if the beautification of the Gateway District happens, then it might be wise for the town to, do something at that point.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think if, to Jack's point, if we do something at least, we're not just saying, no, it's fine where it is, we're trying to,
Yeah.
so maybe.
I will, I'll contact our representative at the DO, actually Wayne Curry's on the transportation committee. Get in touch with Wayne.
But at least that person would see
Wayne knows
where,
about signs.
and I have an idea what the actual town line is.
Let me
And
tell
would know that it really makes no sense to put a sign in the middle of Rondella's
you.
property.
Okay, good. Everybody from the board all set with that? Good. Okay, item F, Chairman Dubois' request for discussion of a potential request for DOT for a speed limit survey to be performed to reduce the speed limit from the Bedford line to the railroad overpass on Route 1. Again, this came from that meeting, some folks there.
So a 40-foot stretch of Route 1?
Yeah.
Well, it goes from, I'm not sure what the speed limit is before that.
It's 40 in Bedford,
Is it 40?
and it turns to 50 right on the bridge. On the Arundel side of the bridge, it's 50.
Right, pretty much right at the Arundel line, isn't it? Close to the Arundel line? That's what
No,
they
you
were
gotta
saying.
go
I
over the
wanted to-
bridge. I think that the sign is,
No, it's before the bridge.
It's
It's on the
before the
Bedford
bridge?
side.
Is it?
And
I thought it was after the
Pump
bridge.
station or something.
Yeah. Why did I think it was after the bridge? It's right there by the water company's building. There's a sign that says speed limit 50.
That's what I thought it was as well,
Yeah.
but I'll have to go
Yeah,
take a
I
ride
did
by. I
too.
thought it was 40 I thought it was 40 coming over the bridge, and then when you hit the bridge, I think if you clear Old Post Road is where it goes up to 50, but I'll have to.
According to,
According to them, it's 50 right at the
I
line.
can't remember her name, but the one that's got the antique shop, and even like Mr. Mills said the same thing, that the speed limit sign is right there, and they just step on it and.
And I was laughing because I was Mr. Negativity when I emailed you back on this
I know,
item.
yeah.
But, and I don't do that intentionally, but the
I
DOT's
understand.
gonna tell us they don't have enough staff on, they're gonna look at crash incidences, they're going to look at fatalities, and they're going to come back and say, no.
I understand.
They don't like doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that was brought up, and I thought we need to discuss it, and
And it very well may be that there's one there by Arundel Auto and one over by the Water District building because Route 1A comes out there. And usually when you have like a minor road like that comes out on a main road, they'll post a speed limit there.
so is the board's intent to leave it as is, or investigate it any further, or what do you folks want to do?
I'll make the request to DOT.
Yeah.
Send a letter back saying, nah, we're not gonna do it.
Yeah. But at least we can send it in.
Yeah.
We can make the request.
Sure, yeah.
Let me go out and verify the speed limit on there,
Yeah.
and then, all right.
The next item is item G, this was your negative here.
This is the other one, yes.
Yeah.
For discussion of potential of a discussion with the city of Bedford in regards to extending their sewer line south to the Route 1 railroad overpass. It was, a big discussion that if there was sewer there, that would probably spur some growth, albeit very small growth, because there isn't a whole lot of land there, right? There's 3 pieces of property on one side, and then I think you've got a large piece of property on the other side of the road. Yeah, you got a couple there, but
Problem with that is Bedford is pretty much maxed out on their own treatment facilities. I don't expect them to accept any of ours. Doesn't hurt to ask.
No, I have no problem speaking with.
Where do they stop?
with Tom
Yeah,
the other
where
day.
do they stop?
Bedford.
There.
Is it up at
I'm
Spur
not,
Road?
I'm not sure where it stops. I have no idea where it stops.
You know where it's from?
Bedford stops at the industrial park on the left, behind, after you go by Arundel Auto.
Coastal Wind.
Yeah, in Winair, there's a pump station right in there on the left. And from there toward Arundel, there's nothing. Dry Dock Restaurant, they have to pump theirs up the hill to the gravity on Route 1.
So Z-Bar and Arundel Auto, those are not on sewer?
If they are, they're going out the back door to the
Industrial
pump
park?
station, to the industrial park.
I'll speak.
Or they're pumping.
Yeah.
I'll talk to John Bouvier and town engineer, see if that's ever going to be an option.
Yeah, and I mean, even if it's just extended, you know, that little distance, you know, cost-wise.
The impact fees would be for astronomical.
Who's paying for it?
Well, the discussion was use developer. You know.
There's no developer.
No, I know, and somebody had mentioned something about TIF, using TIF money.
So it's
But that's not, when you use TIF money, I think we'd want to use TIF money on the other side for a sewer. They'd get more bang for your buck than on that side. Yeah, that was a comment that was made.
Well, then on that.
There was a lot of discussion about going under the railroad track and under the gas line too. That would be quite a process to get approvals for that,
absolutely.
and a little bit pricey.
Okay, so you'll get us some information.
I will get all the information that I can, absolutely.
Treasurer's report.
So they're in front of you, if you have any questions, we'll let you know that cost of electricity is going up. I'm not exactly sure how hard that's going to hit us. I expect about a 25 to 30% increase after December 1st. And keeping an eye on that, making sure I'm not spending too much money. We have everybody unplug everything at night.
They're estimating business is about 25, 30.
Yeah.
I know it's gonna hit us wicked hard. Okay, item I, review and sign payroll and AP warrants. You have a motion for that?
Make a motion to do that.
I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor? Motion carries. Okay, we'll skip over to old business. We don't have any. We'll skip to other business and adjournments.
So the main Planning and Development Council did come back to me with an estimate to reformat our ordinances, and you can tell by the way I'm telling you this, it's a little bit out of control. I am not even going to ask for the $6,500 that they wanted to perform that task. I have spoken to Tad. He feels he could do it a lot less expensively, and he actually feels that he's in pretty good shape right now with the new format to be able to get that done. So that's part of what he's working on right now. I would even further that request to the Board of Selectmen, but I wanted you to know that we're not just spinning our wheels on that. That was the cost that they gave us, and any overages would be taken out of the dues that we pay. It was their comment, so I'm not sure how you get $7,000 worth of ordinance rewrites, but I can leave it at that. But section B, part of that discussion, one thing that Joe is kind of anxiously waiting for is a special town meeting to address the seasonal cottages, extension of time. We've got elections coming up. I don't want to burden Simone by having a special town meeting 2 weeks from now. But if possible, if the board were in favor of it, to hold a special town meeting in conjunction with the first regularly scheduled selectmen's meeting in November, to ask that question.
No, December?
November?
Yeah, November. As November 4th is the election, the first regular meeting, or even, he's looking, it's up to the board. He's looking as soon as humanly possible so he can start advertising the fact that it is either 6 or 8 months. Yeah, that would be the 10th, or the 24th is the week of Thanksgiving, so we're running into December. I'll just have to let Joe know that that's the soonest date possible, unless anybody disagrees with me and says we should do it sooner. But that's what's holding up his marketing. He's got all his marketing done. And he's ready to go out with the initial marketing, not stating what the time frame is, because he doesn't want to put 8 months out there and have to retract it. He also doesn't want to put 6 months out there and then have to extend it, because that's a pretty big difference in price point from what his marketing people are telling him. So I don't know how the board feels about that, how you feel about how quickly you want to move on a special
When's
town
our
meeting.
next meeting?
Our next meeting is November 10th.
November 10th.
No, our next meeting is October 27th.
Oh, right. Then we have one November 10th, and then that's the only meeting in November, right?
Yeah. We'll have a meeting on the 24th as well. But I just don't know how, I mean, they're doing absentee ballots right now. How much work is it to get a special town meeting together, Sam?
The biggest thing is we usually send out a postcard or a newsletter.
Yeah.
And that you'd want to get out at least
I
2
don't-
weeks before maybe, and that would be the only problem.
We wouldn't have time to do a newsletter in that time frame. We could do a postcard mailing, but October 27th or November 10th.
And then this issue's already been out there, because they had a public hearing on it, and there was just a conflict between, planning board voted to move forward with that ordinance revision standing alone, as I recollect, but there was a conflict between the definition in the ordinances of seasonal cottages and what they were proposing, so they just got to mesh the two, so it'll be 2 changes to the ordinance, right?
Yeah, and the planning board's gotta have, I mean, they've gotta do a public hearing on this, right?
So I'm saying, I think they already had.
If you've already
To
had,
change the date to specifically
Yes.
change the date?
Yep, it was part of the May 22nd public hearing.
6 to 8 months.
That was all included in there, and that's when it was found out that the definition hadn't been changed. Because the seasonal cottage performance standard had been, but the definition had not. So that was part of that public hearing.
unless you meet on the 17th as
To
an
call them.
additional. I'm just thinking, right now, I
You're
mean,
out of
we're
state.
out,
Yeah.
people are in and out of the office all day long with absentee voting and,
So you want to get beyond the election?
Yeah.
Yes, I don't blame her.
I couldn't do the news, if you wanna get the girls to do a postcard, but I generally help with the mailings, but the postage stuff, but, and then we get dog licenses that are gonna start on the 15th, so everybody's gonna come in and vote and license their dog tomorrow.
Well, we
So,
could do a special meeting on the 17th.
that way, right after the election,
Yeah.
we could turn around and do a mailing, that Thursday or
So
Friday.
we'd have our meeting on the 10th, special meeting on the 17th, and then another meeting on the 24th.
Either the
Yeah.
17th or the 24th. Whichever.
And if we did that,
Here on the 17th.
you
Unless
won't.
you do the 24th and wait till the 24th.
Well, they'll be here. I just won't be here.
I think a week's gonna go out every 17th to 24th, and I'll do a regular meeting
Yeah.
on the 24th.
Look, yeah,
That'll give him enough time, I mean, if he's looking for prelude, that's
that's
a
the
couple of weeks
Yeah.
after that, so.
All right, I will inform you of that. And yes, you and Phil invited you all, I think I saw the letters, so I won't waste your time there. I can let the cat out of the bag now, though, Dan. Country Auto is no longer vacant. Country, is that what it's called? County Auto on Route 1. Motorland Vintage Auto in the city of Biddeford, they were in the mill. Tim Stenford has it's all antique cars. And he's running out of space there, so they'll be moving in, I believe, November 1st to fill that space.
Excellent.
So that was pretty exciting.
Got a nice spot there.
I met with Paul Riviere today. This week, they're gonna remove the fallen structure and start rebuilding. Phil Gadbois was there. They expect 3 to 4 weeks those buildings will be up because Paul had that building 2/3 full already for winter storage. So everybody's inspected what they need to inspect, and they're gonna tear it down and start over.
You gonna be ready?
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, Phil Gadbois said 4 weeks that way should be buttoned right up and ready to bring boats in.
You
So,
get to tear down what's there already?
yeah, it's such a mess to disassemble what's collapsed,
Yeah.
and then
Some of that could be compromised,
Yeah.
and,
I met there with them today, and they're pretty optimistic that they'll have it done in about 4 weeks, so.
What's the second second lot on Route 1. You know, they're building a new building down there going down towards the Lobster Company.
Yep.
They're putting a new building in there, and then the next lot, it looks like they put a road or a driveway in there too.
Well, there's the Lord Boys that are doing the granite place, is that what you're talking about?
They're
And
putting
then
up their
right
building
next to it.
already.
right next to it is his office, I think.
Oh, his office is gonna be on the
Is
next
construction
lot.
on- No?
I
Okay,
don't think so.
okay, then
Might
I'm not
be.
sure.
Might be, but
Looks like a
we're doing the site work for the Lord Boys,
Okay,
and Danny Spang's doing next door. Danny told me that it was gonna be a residence, second floor residence, business downstairs.
I guess I'll have to check with the planner or the code officer on that one, because I hadn't heard about either one of them.
All seen anything like that come from the plan?
No. Huh.
Unless it's something that told.
I'll take a look, see.
That certainly would not be a site, a staff review.
I'll take a look at that.
I'm just curious. So what's happening with Unitil with this in?
Oh, this is just emergency preparedness, it's free breakfast on it, to be honest with you. They tell you what not to do, they show you pictures of the horror shows of what happened when, bulldozer goes in there with a ripping claw and rips through the line and explodes half the town. They have some pretty good pictures.
Nobody would have bulldozer would do that.
Pretty good slideshow. With a ripping claw, that's the one I remember.
Sorry.
But, yeah,
By the time I put the granddaughter on the school bus at 7:45, I don't have time to get to Sable Oaks by 8 o'clock.
there you go. You're not gonna go if you don't get for the free buffet.
Okay, does anybody else have any other business?
Just to let you know, someone came in the town office today and asked me to verify if a petition format was okay for RSU, begin RSU withdrawal. And I said, I have nothing to do with the wording. I said, your format as far as your signatures looks okay. But I said, I will have it. Well, they said it was the same as the last one. I said, I'm not a legal counsel, so I said, whatever the wording is you put on there is your wording, but I can just tell you the formatting is okay as far as.
Yeah.
Has it been 2 years
Yes.
already?
Wow.
I don't think it's been that long.
Yeah, it was the year that I
It was
come on the board.
2012.
Presidential.
It was the year I came on the selectmen's board, so I was working on my third year. So.
And I told Jack if it comes back up, I'm finding a new town to work in, so. Long time ago, I told Jack.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to 1 MRS 405.6C to discuss negotiations in regards to property acquisitions for the town hall at the request of the property owner. Yeah, Jack?
Right.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?